Welcome from the Things Conference. We're back with another great interview with a great speaker. You had a talk yesterday.
Yes.
So who are you and what do you do?
So my name is John Pearce. I'm the product line manager for the LoRa products at Microchip.
First, tell me a little bit more about Microchip and what it does in the LoRa space.
So Microchip is a large semiconductor vendor. We make all kinds of solutions, microcontrollers, wireless, analog, security. And we were one of the founder members of the LoRa Alliance, so we've been involved in this since the beginning. And we've been committed to developing and promoting LoRa WAN, particularly, as one of our product lines.
When did you got involved with LoRa? From the beginning, you say?
So LoRa Alliance was formed at Mobile World Congress 3 years ago now, so 2015. I would say Microchip was probably involved 1 year before that and became one of the founders of the Alliance.
So what made you decide to see this, to join LoRa and see this as a promising...
We have many technologies within our wireless business unit, but you can categorize them. Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, short-range technologies, keyless entry for cars, such things. We didn't have a cellular solution or a wide area network solution. And so that was the motivation, was to expand our portfolio for wide area networking. And LoRa WAN was the choice.
So you must expect that this is going to be a huge market because you're a big company, so you need...
big company, yeah. And this is a new potential market that we were happy to get in when there was no market. So it wasn't that we got in because we saw the market was there. We got in to build that market from the potential of the technology.
And then own the market.
I wouldn't say own the market, actually. Although as a company, of course, we want to be successful and be a leader in the market. But this kind of market can't survive with single sources or dominant sources. It needs to have multiple sources who are all valid and all compete and all innovate and bring new solutions. So actually, I wouldn't say we want to be dominant, because I think in this technology, in this environment, you need multiple vendors.
True, very true. So you gave a talk yesterday. What was it about?
I gave a talk yesterday to talk about how you can scale up from 1 to 1 million. That was the title of the talk. In the context of this workshop or the community, there are a lot of makers, a lot of people getting started. I've met lots of people in our workshops who are hobbyists and learning. So that's the one. And our business is to get people into large-scale production, the million. And actually, I chose my words carefully. 1 million was, I guess, conservative. We don't want to stop at 1 million, of course.
Billion.
But I thought I didn't want to, be too arrogant and go straight to 1 billion. But it's about the journey of scaling up from makers and people getting started, and how we can help them turn this into big business.
Now, a lot of people were talking also about things like that are happening now or are needed, like over-the-air firmware updates, etc. I can imagine that if you design chips, etc., that it's a completely different way of designing chips. If you make a chip that has to last for 20 years without any changes, or a chip and scale a chip that has to be able to be updated over this period of time.
That's true, but the type of products we make, they are on the market for 20 years. This is the business we're in, making embedded solutions. It's happened at all kinds of conferences, and it's happened here, where I meet someone who says, "Oh, Microchip, I used a PIC 16 25 years ago in my project." And I can say to those people, we still sell that device today. So we're in the business of long-term supply. So that's what we do. But you're absolutely right that there's a new way of working, or new generation, maybe coming more from the cloud side, with continuous delivery of software. Updating web-based software is a routine part of the daily work. And so these two worlds have to come together. And maybe someone coming from the cloud side may not have experience or the background of making a product for 10 years. And conversely, some of our classic customers who make these embedded products may not understand the cloud side. So our job is to bring these two groups of people together. We're the glue that tries to connect those two things.
And is it working?
It is working. And those you mentioned firmware over-the-air updates. That's one of the key parts of this. It's been a large part of the content here because it's an emerging feature, and it's an enabling feature to allow those two groups to come together. And that's how I structured my talk, as well as talking about scaling from 1 to 1 million. It gave me the opportunity to, I described it as a journey, so it gave me the opportunity to look back at where we started with Things Network a couple of years ago and where we're going in the future. And it allowed me to talk about these key enablers that came along the way. One other key enabler was the Things Network Kickstarter Gateway. That was very important. You mentioned firmware over-the-air updates. That's a very important key enabler. And then the one which is very present right now is security. That's the big thing we're discussing in our workshops. We see that as a huge enabler to scale up again to the 1 million pieces.
Yep, I heard a lot of people talking about security as well here as a thing that is very important.
It's not just security in the classic sense of the fear of being hacked. That's the typical entry into security discussions. But we promote it also as an enabler in the way of deploying keys, commissioning end-to-end solutions, zero-touch commissioning, so that we can integrate into the manufacturing process, which is our business, what we do, and pre-provision keys to those new players in the game, the Amazons, Googles, Microsoft, and make that seamless integration.
Right. So you've been to many conferences. You already said before we started, but this one is pretty good so far.
This one has been excellent. I have to say, it's beyond, I think, all of our expectations.
So why is that?
I think the engagement with the community has been absolutely fantastic. It's the goal of the Law Alliance. I'm a member of the marketing committee of the Law Alliance, and we discuss the strategy of where we are and where we want to be. And we've been in the phase as an alliance of trying to grow. So, and we boast about how we've grown up to 500 and more within the first 2 years, which is amazing. But we're transitioning. I think we have the membership now, and we have the growth, and we've proven that point. And we're focusing now on engaging and deploying. And part of deploying in the field is engaging developers. And so this was a perfect reason to bring the alliance, to Amsterdam and co-locate next to the Things Network. So from my alliance point of view, it's been incredibly successful to have this co-location of the two events.
Well, that's great to hear, obviously. You already said we're in a transitioning phase a little bit as the Alliance. So if you take a look at the Alliance, maybe from an Alliance perspective, at the market, at LoRa, what is the next challenge that we need to fix, apart from security and over the air, but what is the next phase we should get into, the next challenge we should take?
Well, I would say within the space there are competing technologies, of course. The three front runners that you will read about in any articles will be LoRaWAN, of course, Sigfox and narrowband IoT. And I guess we've been in the phase of promoting the technology in that context, competing technologies. And I think we've essentially won that battle as well. LoRaWAN is very well accepted as a successful solution to LPWA. And so again, within the marketing context of the Law Alliance and the direction they're taking, there's a lot of focus, I said, on deployments, and a way to do that is to focus on vertical markets. So you'll see a lot of attention towards those vertical markets like smart agriculture, smart cities, smart industry, and so on.
Does it mean that you, as the Alliance, also are going to approach the market in these verticals? Are you going to have chapters or something like that that are actually addressing these different kind of
yes,
industries?
You'll see this within events and communications and planning. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. This was another episode from the Things Conference. There are many more interviews to be seen at our YouTube channel, so watch them all.